So, good afternoon, students. All we are audible to you, students. I hope it is. One of you can.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. So, good afternoon, both LLB and LLM batch. Today we have the SCC online session, and we have Sanjay Kapoor sir is the training head, and the Chetan sir is also training head for SCC online, along with the Mohit sir. All three members will be focused on the SSC online, and tomorrow there will be session connected to this, that is for an online. Okay, so without wasting much more time, I'll hand over session to the Chetan sir and Sanju sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Baleshji. Thank you for giving us permission to address these students. It's always a pleasure to address the audience at Symbiosis campuses. This batch essentially is of LLM, or it's a mix batch where we have students from LLB as well as LLM.
LLM and LLB mix, sir.
Both. All
Both
right.
first years, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, both are first years.
Okay.
So we have to cover the basic orientation for them, and in future maybe one or two sessions we'll cover the research area, and for LLB the another two sessions.
All right.
This is
All
the
right.
yeah planning. Yeah,
Thank you, Baleshi. Thank you. Without wasting any further time, let's start.
please.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sanjay Kapoor. I am with SCC Online from last almost 2 decades, and it's always a pleasure to address students and the faculty member associated with various colleges. But Symbiosis is our, in fact, one of the oldest institution which is subscribing SCC Online from last almost 20 plus years. I distinctly remember that Symbiosis Pune was the first campus, especially in Maharashtra, where we had started our journey. And now almost I think everyone knows that SSC Online is the most popular product. Everyone keeps saying SSC Online is the most popular and it's very widely used. So what is the reason? What is the reason why SSC and SSC Online, both of these are actually having dominance, I'll say, dominance over the legal fraternity members' use of this product while, especially while they're there in the court or maybe in the arbitration or maybe for any other important critical work. Most of the members already know what the merits are, but let me reiterate the same in a very, very short span of time. Essentially, Eastern Book Company, which is the parent company of SCC Online, which started in 1942 to this year, 2021. It's been, in fact, a long, long period of about 8 decades. So the software comes from a law publishing house, which already knows the integrities and the requirements of very busy lawyer's office, or maybe the judiciary office, or maybe the requirement of legal heads of various corporations and business houses, etc. So we understand about their requirements, and accordingly, we have created our own infrastructure setup and also our manpower setup. We have a very strong internal legal editorial board. This legal editorial board is approximately 200 members sitting in different offices across the country. Because of pandemic, they're all working from home. So these 200 members are responsible for reading, analyzing each judgment of Honorable Supreme Court of India and of various high courts and tribunals, etc., before we create the summary and the head notes, the précis of the information, as the new LLB young members are also there. So it is something similar to what the newspapers are doing. So every day in the morning when we get the newspaper, either Hindustan Times or Times of India or Indian Express or any other newspaper that you're reading, without the headings, it is very difficult to read the newspaper. So accordingly, our choices are developing for a specific newspaper depending upon what are we liking. In this same spectrum, Eastern Book Company editorial board also has, in fact, many special cells to process the judgments of different segment. Like there is a special team for constitutional law, there is a special team for criminal law, there is a special team for taxation, there is a special team for different type of legal segments that we actually publish. And in fact, as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, we are covering comprehensively each and every judgment of Honorable Supreme Court of India. When we had started, it was only Supreme Court in 1995, but slowly and gradually we started adding other high courts, and also now the tribunals, and also, in fact, the international courts. So the uniqueness is lying in the legal perspective, a publisher's understanding, which is having a background of law publishing. And then also we understand the requirement of accuracy and reliability in the legal transcripts or legal law journals and law reports, because it is very important to know that there is no second edition which is printed for law reports. Law reports are printed only once, and then thereafter these are only are allowed to publish reprints. So in case we are printing anything with inaccuracies, or there is anything which is wrongly printed in one of our journal, or we understand that maybe after some time we realize that there was some mistake, we cannot correct it because the copies are already circulated. So we do not get an opportunity to make any corrections. Since we do not get any opportunity to make any corrections, it is actually very, very important for us to be very, very careful. So we have internal proofreading department. We do not simply rely on the material which is available online on various high courts and Honorable Supreme Court of India website. Of course, anyone can download the information from these websites, but the website information at times may not be accurate. And if there are inconsistencies with the text of the judgment that we download, we filter that out, and then we write to the bench members, and then we get the corrigendum, and all of this is actually done as a due verification process. Sometimes the paragraphs which are mentioned of the earlier in fact authorities, the paragraphs and the citations are not correctly mentioned. Sometimes there are typographical errors, sometimes there are other type of errors, sometimes some pages are missing. So you cannot actually make out that this the paragraph which is actually talking about one thing, suddenly that paragraph disappears and another thing starts from the next page, first line. So we know that there is something happening here. Most other publishers are equally engaging the same kind of practice, and they are actually having the same verification process, the law publishers. But the same is not true for the software publishers. Software publishers understand that this is open resource, and open resources, you simply collect the information and put it on website and give it to the customer, because they may not like to go to 100 website. Instead, they like to see it only on one website, but that's a limited approach. So this is the main distinction. SSC Online brings you not only the information which is available on the open resources like Supreme Court, High Court websites, and also tribunal websites, also the international websites. But in addition to that, we have about 100 plus publishers syndicate, which is kind of entering into a kind of copyright agreement with them to get their data in its entirety, which will be available to you all along with the SSC. So now I can proudly say that it's a library of about 15,000 volumes. 15,000 volumes library, which is already published material by us and our other collaborating partners. So in addition to Eastern Book Company's SCC series, we have hundreds of other series available. Some of these series are also having the copyright with the Honorable High Courts. Several High Courts have given us permission to include the ILRs, Indian law reports. So even the authentic reports are also available here. So having said that, is this very difficult? And how is SSC Online then gaining popularity? Okay, we have authentic material which is coming from publication houses. So in addition to having all this, we have also created two-step search methodology. What is this two-step search methodology? Anyone can search for a keyword or maybe legal expression, and then you can first search that in the digest notes. So what are these digest notes? Digest notes are, we were talking about the head notes, the headings of various judgments, the head notes that our editorial team is creating. Sometimes in one judgment you may have 2 points, sometime in one judgment you may have 20 points. So all those 20 points will be separately presented in the same format as if you are reading it in the journal, but each paragraph, each law point will be separately given to you as a digest note. So one law point represents one digest note. As you can see on the screen now, one of the judgment is actually open index to head notes. So please scroll further. Let us show the constitution of one particular paragraph. So here, as you can see, A, Constitution of India, point 3, Articles 21, 19, 14, 25, 28, and preamble right to privacy. This becomes one point and one digest note. And we will link the appropriate paragraphs of the judgment, giving the paragraph numbers along with this para A. This information, which is in bold and italics, is created by the SCC editorial board. Next is the paragraph 2, which is Constitution of India, that will have another digest note on this. So point B will be the Constitution of India, point 3, another in fact, maybe another paragraph, as you can see here, added to this. And then when you scroll down, you will find several similar paragraphs appearing here, along with this some kind of, in fact, important information. What was the summary? What were the cases cited or distinguished? As you can see, some cases overruled on this point. And then we proceed to the next point here, point C, Constitution of India. So each one of those points is separately presented to you for saving your precious time as a digest note. So one digest note essentially is one paragraph of the head note of the SEC journal, or maybe the other publishers with which we, with all of those which we have with other publishers where we have collaborated and they have given us complete data to us. So the digest becomes a very important source to save your precious time. You first see it in the most important information, and then in case you've liked the information on the digest note, you can always click on the citation to get the full text and then continue for your research. So what will happen in some cases, you will find about 800 judgments and about 80 digest notes. So I'm sure everyone can understand that reading 80 digest note is simpler and easy and less time consuming than reading 800 judgments. And accordingly, then you can keep shortlisting important information. We have very limited time to complete huge information that we want to share with you all. So without wasting any further time, I'll request Chetan or I think Mohit is, I think, sharing the screen. Please open
Mohit
data
is
coverage.
yes.
Please click on data coverage. In case you would like to see what exactly is covered here, so as you can see, we do not just cover Supreme Court cases because the name suggests SEC Supreme Court cases. No, we cover Supreme Court, Federal Court, Privy Council, all India, in fact, all high courts, and then there are some district court judgments as well, which are very important, and historical courts before independence, whatever historical courts were in operations, we have coverage from all of those. Then we have also started covering various tribunals and commissions, and we definitely have our own, in fact, very important library which we are publishing in the central statute section, which is please scroll down further. Here, Indian statutory law, as you can see, this the central and state statutes. Out of this central statutes, we have the strongest library of about 2,900 central statutes currently, in fact, in force, or maybe the reappealed, which are published in our own series called Current Central Legislation. So there again, our own law publication, in fact, series is helping us, and then we have also collaborated with other partners for getting the state statutes, rules, regulations, circulars, notifications, instructions. Bills in Parliament is also now available. Indian secondary information. When I say then Constituent Assembly debates, origin of Indian Constitution is comprehensively covered along with the index table, which actually allows you to see if Article 141, we want to see what was the debate for Article 141. So we can actually go to the actual debate by looking into this table, conversion table, because Article 141 was not Article 141 in the draft constitution. It was having some other number. So that index actually helps us to reach to the correct debate date, and then I can read the important information of my choice. And not only this, the information relating to various commissions and committee reports, which includes law commission reports, approximately 270 plus, and then legal articles published in 62 top professional academic journals, which some of these are being published by Eastern Book Company and some of these are being published by various other universities. So we have the collaboration with them for publication of these academic journals. And in addition to this, we also have the permission from some of the international journals, like Singapore Academy of Law Journal has given us permission. Dhaka University has given us permission. Likewise, there are several others for which the information under their permission and license is being included here. The list is endless. Yes, there are huge number of other resources available. Then comes our international partnership. We are partnering with the international publishers as well. No wonder the information of the international judgments is also available in the open resources. But there again, our methodology remains the same. We have collaborated with the important publishers in England. We have for UK law, we have in fact collaborated with ICLR, Incorporated Council of Law Reporting, which gives us access to three reports: law report, weekly law reports, and business law report. All of these three series put together are about 1400 volumes from 1865 till date. So there again, we have the digest, we have the full text, and we also have the true prints as if we have the actual volume in our hand. And then Bangladesh government has given us permission to include Bangladesh legal decisions, and accordingly Singapore government has given us permission to include the Singapore law reports, both old series and new series. And also we have the coverage from UK, in fact Canada, United Kingdom, and also United States. United States I think is covered from 1800 and I think 30 to 2020 completely, and several other. In fact, the Supreme Court of United States is covered from 1754 to 2020. So likewise, if you see, huge information of international courts is also now available. When I say international courts, International Criminal Court, Permanent Court of International Justice, and also International Court of Arbitration, and several others. International Human Rights Commission. As you can see, the list is endless. But is the search is also very difficult? No, not really. There are simple tools available to reach to your choice of information. The choice was simple for us: create something which is not technical jargon to struggle with. It should be very simple. If you have a citation, you should be in position to go to the citation directly. If you have a party name, you should be in position to go to the judgment directly, irrespective of the fact whether you know the jurisdiction or you just simply know the party name. If you have a statute in your mind, then you can actually open the statute table, you can see the statute there and go to this relevant section number. You can do that. Also, there are several other methods. In this session, we will try to cover as much as possible. So with this basic introduction of the huge information, which is now spanning more than 40 lakh judgments and orders. 40 lakh judgments and orders. I'm not giving you the number of pages. 40 lakh judgments in one judgment. In one case, one judgment may be one page or one paragraph and can go into 1000 pages or maybe 2000 pages. And this is just for the judgments and orders. I'm not including the number of pages that we have on the central statute, state statutes, various commission committee reports, and international resources, and huge other ocean-like information that we have here. But the searching is exceptionally user-friendly. So to welcome everyone once again to SSC Online platform, we'll start with the login arrangement. Over to you, Chetan and Mohit, please.
Thank you, sir. I think we've understood all the the efforts that goes into making this available to everyone, and it's just not merely the judgment downloading from the website, but also bringing some value. Now let's understand one thing, considering the fact that we are not in the campus and we are accessing everything remotely. You already have remote access in place, and I'm sure everyone has been made aware of. In case anyone who has any question in respect to how to remotely access these softwares, you can please raise your hand right now. And Bale sir and we can try to help you with that. In case everyone knows how to do that, we are assuming right now everyone knows how to remotely access all the databases. Once you go to that e-research e-library, you click on SCC Online and you'll be taken to SCC Online homepage. That is this. Mohit has clicked on the login screen. When you click on the login screen, you get two options. One is a user login, the other one is an IP login. You have to always go for IP login. For the matter of fact, the user login will ask for ID along with the password. So that's not what we're going for. We're going with the IP login. You put in your ID over here, your official ID, and you can simply log in. In case your ID is not registered, you can simply click on register here. And it'll take you to a different screen wherein you can register yourself. It's self-explanatory. It'll ask you for your login ID and your full name. You furnish with those things. You click on register now. You'll be good to go. Okay. The next screen will ask you for your registration, your year of graduation. You can put that accordingly, for how many years you're going to be applying to stay in this university. Log in now. And whatever that we just spoke about, the data coverage, giving you access to international law, giving you access to foreign courts, Indian Privy Council, Federal Code, all that is accessible through this dashboard, this colorful dashboard that we have. We have research, we have my library, we have links. Now, irrespective of the fact that you use any of these, you use research or use my library, you'll be deep diving into the same database. Like Mr. Kapoor said, you know, having a database is one thing, but also making a software familiar or easier for using is equally important. So now we're going to talk about that. But let's understand, why do we have these different colors of tiles? We have Research Plus, which consists of word search, find by citation, party name, topic, and others. In these tiles, you'll be using it depending on what you have at hand. Let's suppose you have a party name with you, you'll be going with the fourth tile on the blue in the blue section. If you have a section number, or if you have a citation, let's say, you'll go to the one next to it. And simply, if you have a word to search with, you'll be going with the word search. Things take a different turn altogether. Your methodology of research will change if you want to access a virtual library, which is similar to one that you have in your campus. Now, I'm talking about the library section. That is my library. You see it in the red color tiles: browse credit topics, browse law reports, browse judgment by court, browse acts, and everything. So in this, you don't have to type in anything. You just have to click on the headings and the subheadings will open up and you just select on that. Considering the fact that we are addressing the first year students, so I'm going to take it a bit slow and basic, but that doesn't really stop any one of you to ask advanced questions. If you have any, I would love to address those. But for now, for the benefit of public at large, we'll be taking it on a basic level. Let me first make a differentiation between the Research Plus and the My Library. Mohit, could you please click on Browse Acts and Rules? Now, as the name suggests, it says you're browsing through the acts. You would have not gone through a lot of acts by now, but let me take something which I'm sure everyone understands, that is Evidence Act, right? So we'll take the central acts and the list comes over here. I'll take Evidence Act. There it is. It'll give me Evidence Act and Principal Entry, the Principal Act and the Amending Acts. I want to see the Principal Act. You click on the Principal Act, the entire act will open up over here. Now I hear you ask, Chetan, why do we need to go through the Bare Act? What is so wow factor over it? I understand this is available on Google. You have books in your house, in your library. And now I think lately I've also seen that there are a lot of apps in the Play Store and the App Store when the entire act has been uploaded with the section numbers. So you don't need these, but you need something which no one is providing you. That is the help of the editorial department, which Kapoor sir explained it in a very concise manner. That the editorial members are the one who are making head notes. They're not only making the head notes, they're doing a lot of value adds, barring just the head notes. And another one is this. We'll talk about more things, but let's go one by one. Now you see, this is the full Bare Act. It says the common law, preamble, and on the common law part, there's a blue color box around it. Mohit, please scroll down further. Do we have this blue color coming very often? Yes, we do see it. Its case says on applicability, national justice. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll see this blue color boxes coming very frequently. Now, what does it mean? Are they relevant to you or not? Any one of you who have started reading Evidence Act would agree with me that this is not the language of the Bare Act. If you open a Bare Act in the Universal Book or online, you'll not have the same language. Then what is it? Now let's take an example of point number 3. It says standard of proof. It says section 3 of the Evidence Act enables the court to apply only the standards of prudent man in judging what is to be deemed to be proved according to the law. Garib Singh versus State of Punjab. 1972 judgment is coming over here. Now, as for the editorial members, they go through a lot of judgments on different points of law. But figuring it out that which one is the most important judgment out of the all 10,000 or probably lakhs of judgment is a task at hand, and that we go through every single day, and which we will be going through in the times to come. But now over here, if this is what you're looking for, let's suppose standard of proof is the point that you're looking for and you're finding a judgments on it, I would suggest you come over here. This is the most important judgment as per my told members. I read whatever that's been has to be read in that in regards. Now, this is not the language of judgment. This is a paragraph from the judgment. And if I click on the citation, which Mohit has already done that, the judgment, entire judgment will open up here itself. You read the full judgment, you understand what is it about. If it makes sense, if it is relevant to what you were searching for in respect to standard of proof, your research finished before even it got started. And the time that you invested in this was like what, 5 minutes. I'm not saying that you should stop your research over here. No, but it's a good go ahead to find that one gem out of so many judgments. Okay, so you can do that. Please close this. And this has been mapped for all the central acts. So be my guest. You can go through all the central acts. So while you're reading, you're in the first years, while you're reading the Bayer Act, I would suggest that's a theory part of it. And you want to see how it was applied in the actual world, then you can go through these blue color boxes, read about it side by side that, okay, this point I've just read, and I want to see how it was applied in judgment. Then what better judgment would be, to search for it rather than finding the best judgment on this point of law. You do that, your theory and practical world shook hands with each other. Let's go back. Let's get the dashboard again. And I'll do that by clicking on these 9 dots on the top. We're back over here. What else can we do? Similarly, there are browse articles, judgments. Let's do this browse judgment by quote. You will, I don't know if you have started hearing this or not, but you will hear it for sure in the time to come when your professors will be telling you that you need to read Supreme Court judgments that was being decided yesterday or in the last week. And the same goes for your principal high court. And that is something that you cannot avoid or shouldn't avoid. You need to read the latest judgments to understand how the law is being developed, and that will become a habit of yours. Now the problem is that you have to go to Supreme Court on the website separately, then High Court separately, and so on and so forth. Over here, you can see there are different courts. Mohit has clicked on Supreme Court. Then he got an option of different decades. He chose this current one, that is 2020, 2021. And then he has a list of various months. Mohit, could you please click on one of the months? Mohit is choosing for the month of August. The entire month of August is here. He clicked on 31st of August. Whatever judgments were published or were decided on 31st of August are available over here. You don't have to type in the party name or citation, or neither you have to make a note of it and just go out and then search for it. You click on the entry, the entire case will open up right over here. Okay, saves that time. You can save it, you can email it. I'm sure everyone understands the saving option is a cornermost icon on the screen. That is the floppy icon. Mohit, could you please highlight that one? You can if you click on this, this will save this on your local hard drive. You can email it, you can print it. All that options are available, and I think considering the fact that all of us are very tech savvy, so we understand how this needs to be done. Let's go back, Mohit, to the dashboards. There's another thing which I would like to cover in the library part, that is browse credit topics. Now, this might be an overwhelming experience for you right now because there are so many topics that you're not even thought of, I haven't heard of. Mohit, would you take public law? I think let's say public law, it will be easier for everyone to understand. Now, this being the principal topic, you have several subtopics under public law. Once I click on public law, those topics will come over here. Now, am I telling you to start doing research? Not really. But am I saying that someone is ready to help you, give you some work that otherwise you would have was required to do it? Yes. Again, the 8 old members have offered their help. extended their help by providing something which might be relevant to you. Now we see it says advocates, animal law, armed forces, citizen migrants and all. Mohit, could you please click on citizen migrants and aliens? Or do you want to take the epidemic and disease control, considering the fact we're all going through that? So click on epidemic disease and disease control. This is a topic. Now on this, it says there's a statutory law, rules, notification, case law, and policy documents. Mohit, could you please click on the statutory law? Now we all understand that there has to be some, act which is governing this point of law, this topic, and they are Epidemic Disease Act of 1897 is the one which is at the which is the forerunner in this. But then comes the Disaster Management Act. But these are the principal acts which are like specially and totally made for these topics. None of us, including myself, if you asked me a couple of years back, would have thought that you know Aircraft Act or MV Act for that matter, Motor Vehicle Act, is talking about disaster management. Now it says Motor Vehicle Act section number 16, 186 and 32 is related to something related to the epidemic and disease control. Not the entire act, because we all understand what MV Act is meant for. But they're saying that these section out of the entire acts is relevant to us. So you can go through the list of various sections of various acts to have a better understanding of a topic. That being said, Mohit, could you please close this tab and open the second one, rules and regulations? So all the rules and regulations that has come up in the recent past will all come over here. So you don't have to go out looking for it. All the guidelines, all the rules and regulations that have been issued by the government or the department will come over here. You can go through it, make a note and get going with it. Similar thing will apply with notification. I will leave that. Let's get into case laws. Now in this, these are important judgment which has become a landmark or important judgment as far as the development of this topic is concerned. And you can see it, epidemic disease control, there's one judgment that we find out. This number will increase. If you open some other topic, there might be 10, 20 judgments as well. But for now, in this, we have picked up one, and this is not even the full judgment. This is just a head note. So this will come in handy as and when you're looking over various topics and you want to see information from various heads, not only judgments, but various other sectors. Please come to browse credit topics. Now that's all been talked about. Let's, Mohit, go back to the search. We have other things. We have also moot court resources. We will talk about this later. I will request Mohit to do that later in the section of this session. Now comes to the Research Plus. How is it different? Let's start with word search, Mohit, shall we? Now in word search, you have to type in something. You would not get the information like we saw in the previous examples, when you just had to click and the information was pouring in. In this, you have to type in a word or a sentence or a couple of words to start your search with. But there is one suggestion that I would like to make for all the members who are here on this call and who will be using this software in the future. That is, do not write queries, do not write questions, do not ask questions, and do not write full sentences. Now, why is that? We are all acquainted with this new technology of Siri, then Google Assistant, and Alexa and others. They're all fed with a certain information that members can only do those kind of things, right? You cannot go beyond that. I'll give you one thing. If you just go to your Siri and you ask that what's the weather in Delhi right now, it'll obviously gonna give you that. It's gonna ask you when is the rain expected in Pune. It'll give you that probably in the next week, maybe. Pune is always pouring over there. But if you ask something critical, like let's say you say that what is the average temperature of India, or let's say what is the average temperature between Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi, and Madras, you might not get the answers. What I'm trying to give you over here is that In SCC, it's not a pre-fed question that you can get answers to. You're looking into research, you're doing a research, and which is based on what judges who are people have written in their judgments. Anything which is not written in the judgment, you cannot search for it. And that brings me to the next point. That is, every person has a different vocabulary. I can say one thing in a different way. Mohit can do it in a different way. But that doesn't mean that how we say it would be wrong. If I say I'm going home and Mohit says I'm going to my place, means the same thing. I'm going to work or I'm going to office means the same thing. It's just the words which are changing and taking the place. So the crux of this entire thing that I just discussed is do not write conjunctions, do not write connecting words, just write the main legal words that you're looking for. And now let's talk about an example to help you understand with this. If you're looking for a judgment on murder, wherein bail was, bail was been, been given to the person, you don't have to write the full sentence, right? All the murder cases where bail was, been granted. You just write two words, bail and murder. It'll give you the word. It'll give you the search for it because these are two words which will be, it doesn't matter how many judgment you're looking for. These two words will surely come in the judgment, irrespective of the fact what was the conjunction used, what are the different words which were used to make sentence out of these two words. But let's not get this. Let's give you another example of Google. Mohit, how would you find a judgment? Forget about that. You know how to use SCC Online. So for a moment, just leave that, throw it out of the window, and think from a layman perspective. If you want to see a later judgment on corruption from the Supreme Court of India, not of UK, not of USA, of India, how would you search for it on Google? Just type it over here. Supreme Court of India, not Indian, I think, yeah. And you can write case law, or someone would say that I can write judgments. Whatever you write, I'm just going with it right now. Latest case law from Supreme Court of India on corruption. Mohit, please help me with this the search, start search. Will we get the judgments? Certainly, yes. But will we get the right results? I beg to differ on that. I don't think that we'll get the right results. See, the problem with the search is not that the software doesn't have everything. The problem is when you get the result, you cannot be sure that it has, search in every nook and corner of the databases. So the only solution or only savior or your savior in that search is you should know how to perform the right search. Now, if you see, it has given me judgments. Mohit, could you show us the judgment tab? It has given me judgments on Supreme Court, High Court, foreign courts as well. But luckily, we have a inbuilt option wherein we can isolate one particular jurisdiction. Mohit, could you please click on the only which is appearing in front of Supreme Court? So when you click on the only which is appearing, which was supposedly appearing in front of every entry, but we chose Supreme Court, we have now got only Supreme Court judgments and not anything, and we have deselected the entire database. Let's go for sort by and find the latest one. So latest first will give me the latest judgment. But guys, just be with me on this and help me remember these numbers. We got 107 Supreme Court judgments on this topic, corruption. 28th of July being the latest, and the second one is of the month of June. So May, June, and July. It's consecutive 3 months. I'm getting my three latest judgments. But this is not correct. Mohit, could you please, step into your legal research tool or legal research shoes and do it how a researcher would do it? So Mohit says that I don't want anything of this. Right? Mohit, please take this off. That's one word, start search. And why is that? Because if you just recall what we did, we have the option of, selecting individual courts. So there's no need to write Supreme Court, High Court and all. Then latest or oldest, we have an option over here which is sort by. So the number which was 107 have been jumped to 2200. And Mohit, could we see the latest one? So July is not even in the frame right now. It's coming on the 5th entry, and then 28th was 1. We got 2 now. The point over here is that you would have otherwise missed out 4 other judgments which were latest, to more recent than what you were thinking it is. So keep it simple and you get more results. You must be thinking, Chetan, that's easy. Then why do we have to talk about it? Let's go back. Let's talk about why this is not easy. Why this sometimes becomes a challenge. See, writing a question is easier, but finding out the important words of your for your search is more difficult. Now, let's talk about let's give let's talk with an example. I want to see a judgment wherein a doctor was, you know, summoned to the court because while he was, don't write it, it's going to be a really long sentence, so leave it. He was summoned to the court because in one of the surgery that he did, he left a big glove, like one glove in the intestine of the patient, and the patient is now seeking, the for his money for his treatment, and he wants the treatment to be taken care by either the same hospital without charging any single money, or he should be given a compensation for that. So I can write all this big story into 1 or 2 sentences. But if you actually look for it, what are we talking about? We're talking about not a patient, not a doctor. We're talking about cases of negligence. And to be specific, we're talking about medical negligence cases. And the second thing that comes to my mind next to that is I'm looking for claim, I'm looking for money. And if I write those things, the better word would be compensation. So I can write compensation over here. This is sounding very simple because I have done this searches in the past. Someone has asked me this query and I had decoded it back in time. And that's why it's easier for me. But for you, this will become a practice. It's very, I'm thankful to Balay sir and the entire SLS management and the fraternity to have this session in the first week of your joining, because if this is your mindset, if you make this as your mindset right now, by the time you will graduate, you'll be sorted with any legal research tool. And now, I don't want the medical negligence to be searched separately, because medical has its own meaning, so does the negligence. If I do my search, what's going to happen? It's going to search for 3 different words: medical negligence, compensation, 3 words. In order to make medical negligence as one word so it comes together, I'll simply put double inverted commas around it. There you go. That double inverted commas makes it as one word. You can do it in Google as well. Google also understands this language. I can do a start search, but then there's one more thing I can add. I want that compensation and medical negligence should be should be relevant to each other, should be talking to each other, should be in the same sentence. If I do a start search, it might come in the same sentence. That means they are relevant to each other. There's a possibility that medical negligence come in the first paragraph and compensation come in the last paragraph. Then what happens? It is obviously not relevant to me. So to make it more relevant, I will have to ensure that these 2 words are occurring near to each other. So what I'm going to do is, what I want is what I write. I want them near each other. I write the word near in between and start search. That's it. You write the word near in any of the words that you're looking for. You can do your start search. You're good with your search. And there we go. Composition medical negligence comes right over there. Mohit, let's go back. And in this, What if there's a sentence and you have to, the one that I gave you was not even a sentence, it was a paragraph, rather what a situation that I shared with you. What if it's a sentence and you know and you've heard it a lot of times? You'll be tempted to write it as it is. And let me give you one. If you've not heard it till now, you will hear it in the couple of months. The statement goes like this: the lawyers are the officers of the court. You heard it before? I'm sure. Mohit, please do the needful. Now tell me one thing. I can do start search because I'm confident this is how it has been, it was told to me, or that's how I've read it in the books. But that does not, you know, we cannot ignore this fact that there are different ways you can say the same statement or you can make the same statement. One thing that comes to my mind is lawyers are the office of the court. You can also say lawyers are considered as the office of the court. Or if the lordship is not in a good mood and the lawyer is not doing their job, the judge can simply also say that the lawyers should act as the officer of the court. Now this brings me, this builds up a dilemma in my head that if I write this, I will not get the other, derivatives of this sentence. So we come back to this first suggestion that I made. Keep it short and simple. Write only the main words. What are the words which are occurring irrespective of the three statements that he made? What are the three words that are coming in all those three or two words? We have taken three words: lawyers, officer, court. Write the word near in between. You will get your judgments wherein these words are coming in any form for that matter. Always understand you're not looking for one judgment, you're looking for judgment which is written by tens of thousands of judges over the past 7 decades. Your vocabulary is limited to you yourself, is limited to your learning. Some person might have a different way of searching, different way of, detailing things. How Mr. Kapoor talks is different than how I talk. The words that I use, the way I detail session is different. And now when you listen to Mr. Mohit Singh, you will have you'll see a different change of vocabulary, change of methodology. Same thing is applied to the lordships. The only thing that will be common in all three or session would be we're calling SCC as SCC, we're calling judgment as judgments, we're calling research, word search as a word search, we're calling dashboard as a dashboard. Because for us, these are legal words, these are set words, we will not use it in any other form. And there we have it, lawyers as officer of court. Mohit, could you show us any other way that this statement was being written? It's the same statement. Could you please scroll down further? The 11th one would be good one to show. It says lawyers, they also prevented various lawyers from discharging their judicial functions. And if you, okay, click on that point. Otherwise, there was a second click that you should have done. About that. So they say lawyer the part of judicial system and other officer of the court. Meaning the same, but with few extra words, sentence have changed, right? So this is the word search for now. I think we have a lot of examples that we can give on word search, but I think we've understood the fact. Let's quickly run through the other tabs that we have, and then we come back to the word search as the time allows. Mohit, I would request you to take it from here.
Sure, sir. I'll do that.
Thank you. Your voice is a bit soft. Can we just do a voice check, mic check with you?
Sure. I'm audible now.
Yes, perfect now. Thank you.
All right, members. So we have already gone through with the word search and some bit of the library part. Let's start with something interesting now. Let's start with find by topic, right? Find by topic is a newly added tile in the SCC Online, and it basically helps the user to get the best keywords for their research purpose. It is almost similar to the word search, but when you come to this style, you will get huge topics and statutes list. Now, according to your area of research, according to what you are interested in, you can choose the particular categories. So you have administrative law, you have arbitration, you have aviation law. I suppose we are going to read something about the constitutional matters recently. So now we are going with the constitutional law. Once we click on the constitutional law, we have the subcategories coming towards our screen. So we have basic features, we have constitutional doctrines, constitutional morality, constitutional rights. Again, it depends upon me, whichever subcategory I wanted to choose. Now, once I have made my decision, the software will now ask me that where you want this keyword to be searched in. So you have the ability to search in everywhere. That will surely act like a word search. Whichever document contains this word constitutional morality, that document will appear in your searches. In case you click on search in digest notes, then your search will somewhat restricted to only those documents which contains the digest notes in it. So let's take a look on it, and let's click on search in digest notes and click on go. Just a second. All right. Yeah. So with this method, what we are doing over here is we have already clicked on a category, and in that category, we have selected constitutional morality. And now the software is trying to search all the available digest notes on the topic of constitutional morality. I have another method as well in which I cannot choose the topic. Instead of that, I can write my own keyword, which I'll show you just now. So over here, you have clicked on constitutional morality and you have got around 152 results. All of them are coming in from the Supreme Court, just like I've anticipated. Now over here, all of these digest notes are denoted by the icon D. So in the SCC Online research window, whenever you see this icon D, that represents that this is not the full judgment, this is not the full text, this is just the law point of that judgment which was discussed. And also on that law point, what was the opinion coming from different judges. So once we click on it, we can now read the digest notes. It talks about constitutional law. Certainly, it also talks about constitutional morality, in which it talks about meaning, purpose, and essential features, role of constitutional morality in constitutional interpretation. Now, as per former Chief Justice Mishra sir, as per Justice Sikri sir, and as per Justice Khanwilkar sir, their combined opinion has been written over here. And this information has been taken from the judgment paragraph 284.3 and 58 to 63. So everything can be referenced. If you go to the judgment and you go to that paragraph, you'll find the same information. Similarly, we have a concurring opinion coming in from a judge, Justice Chandrachud sir. And again, that information is coming in from this paragraph. So basically, rather than you reading out the whole judgment and getting the concurring opinions and all the opinions coming in from different judges and collating all that in your one personalized sheet, we have already done that homework for you, and we have presented that data in the form of digest notes. So again, this is the same information coming in, and now I can scroll down. And the reason behind scrolling down is to get to see which judgment are we looking at. So we are looking at state NCT of Delhi versus Union of India, and then we have the equivalent citations coming in from the DLT journal and coming in from the SCC journal. If you click on this hyperlink, the whole judgment will pop up in a new window. So that is how you can do your research on a particular law point, whichever you wanted to read. So these all are different judges, judgment law point. Now over here, as you can see, sometimes there's written as constitutional interpretation as the heading, but sometimes it's written as constitutional law. All right, let's scroll down to see, do we have something else? Yes, we do have Constitution of India as well and criminal law as well as the heading. So what are these? So basically, every digest note has their own unique heading. So this digest note has the heading of constitutional law. This digest note has the heading of criminal law. This digest note has the heading of Constitution of India. If you go to find by topic one more time, then you might have observed that we have third type of option, which restricts our result to the heading itself. This time I'm not going with the topic. This time I'm trying to enter my own keyword over here. So I'm just trying to get a keyword. So let's take this one. Let's meet expectation. Click on find by topic. So by this method, the software has given me some information that the legitimate expectation comes in three different topics. It comes in administrative law, it comes in doctrines, and it also comes in service law. Now, it gives us a brief idea that these are the main categories through which you can find the documents on the topic of legitimate expectation. All right. But currently, I'm looking forward for all those cases which were related to service law matters. So once you have selected one particular heading, then you can click on search in headings. And now the results would be highly decreased, and only those results will come onto your screen which are related to service law matters. So that is how we can further do the filtration process, even though if we are working on the digest notes. So all, in order to summarize the whole find by topic tile, there is a method for search everywhere. There is a method to search in only digest note, which contains all the headings. And there is a method through which we can click and select one particular heading. And that is the find by topic tile for you. It is very handy, and it is why my personal favorite, as sometimes I tend to forget what are the best keywords through which I can search upon, and this comes in need. Then we have words and phrases over here. Words and phrases is a legal dictionary of SCC Online, and basically it gives you the legal meaning of any legal word which you type in. No, it does not take the information from Wikipedia or from any other third-party websites. What we do over here is, in order to give you the meaning, we take the meaning literally from the judgment. So for example, I have typed this word bail for you. So we all know what's the meaning of bail. But in case if any judge has defined what's the meaning of bail in any judgment, then we have provided that information to you over here. So this first paragraph is going on, and this first paragraph has been taken from the judgment of A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras. So that's how you can relate, and you can also use this information for your research purposes. Apart from this definition, we also take the information from the Walton Dictionary of Law. So there you go. Whenever you see this information or the abbreviation what, then that's the Walton Dictionary of Law. And in case if any statute, any act has defined what's the meaning of a particular word, then we also include that information right over here. So three types of sources are embedded. One, if any judge has defined. Secondly, Walton Dictionary of Law. And third, if the statute contains a definition of that word. So that is the words and phrases type. Now we are moving ahead with find by party name. Find by party name is the most easiest style, and I believe most of the students have already used this before as well, before this session, because I guess you already know how to use this remote access software and how to de-stress this online website. So party name can be used, and it is very easy to use. But the only problem is, I would not say problem. The only thing is that you need not to write the full party name over here, right? So let me show you an example for that. So in case you have the partial information available of a party name, like for example, you have a case of Sukhdev Singh versus State of Punjab, but you do not have the information that it was Sukhdev Singh or it was it was Sukhdev Singh versus State of Punjab, or it was Sukhdev Singh versus State of Delhi. Even though if you have partial information available, you can still do your search over here. You type Sukhdev Singh, there you go, and you click on the find case. Now, our software has given you 30 results, and according to the date of decision, you can locate whichever case you're looking at. Now, I have already selected the Supreme Court. What if I do not have the information from whichever court that judgment was delivered? What to do in that scenario? We click on this list, and then we click on all jurisdiction. It will be searched, whichever keyword or whichever party name you enter, it will be searched in the whole database of SCC Online. Now again, I'll take another example. So let's take an example of a pretty old case, A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras. I'm not writing verses or v dot in between because that is common, and that is why we have removed that keyword. So we have A.K. Gopalan State of Madras, and we got a result. Now I can click on it, but before I click on it and show you that example, we also have one more input method, that is for search by famous case names. Search by famous case names works for those famous cases which were there in the national media headline. I believe before the lockdown, there was a case of Ram Janambhoomi or the Ayodhya case, right? So if we type Ayodhya over here, or let's take Ram Janambhoomi. I guess I need to refresh. My internet is a bit slow right now. So basically what I was trying to enter is just a national media headline. And there you go. Ram Janambhoomi case is over here. Now, most of you might not be very sure whether it was called as Ram Janambhoomi because it was also called as Babri Masjid case. So that is why we can use that headline as well and we'll still get the same results. Now, it also applies for the similar further judgments as well. As you can see, Aadhaar judgment, adultery law case, BMW hit and run case, Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. So all those things are present over here. And that is how we can see that information. Now let's get back to our example. Our example was regarding a case of AK Gopalan. So I click over here and it will give me my past results. So that was AK Gopalan's state of Madras. And I double click on it and this case will be opened up. So please remember this, whenever you get any information with regards to a party name, you can come to this tile. And irrespective if you have full information or partial information available, you can still do your search. In case you're not sure about that information, then I would suggest you to go with the word search and try whether your party name is correct or not. Now we have AK Gopalan State of Madras ready with us. And now I can see that I have one document with the icon J and another one is icon D. The D icon you already know of that this is not the judgment. This is the judgment which is represented by the icon J. The number 6 represents that there were 6 judges in the quorum and all those judges' names are represented over here, as you can see. Now, all those judges' names are in the blue bold color. That simply means that all the judges gave their own point of view and all of them authored the judgment. In case you wanted to read any particular judge's opinion, then you can click on his name and it will be, the software will take you to his part of the paragraph. So there you go. Now, in order to copy any particular paragraph, you just double click on the notepad icon on the left hand side and this whole information will be popped up in a new window through which it's very easy to copy. You just highlight the information and copy into your Word file or whichever file you're working on, right? Now, there is one more information which we can talk about in this example. That is whenever we are doing our case study on one particular example. So let's suppose we are doing a case study on AK Gopalan. Now we also wanted to see that what all points of law that were discussed in AK Gopalan. And also we wanted to see whether there is any point of law that got overruled in future that is not a good law anymore. We cannot cite that law. Is there any law point in the AK Gopalan or not? I wanted to search for that. So basically, whenever you read any case, you have to make sure that this case should not get overruled anywhere so that you can cite it. And if it gets overruled, then you should also see, is there any law point which is still left which I can use in my case or not? For that critical information, first of all, you need to read the whole judgment and then you need to read other judgments as well in which AK Gopalan got cited in, whether AK Gopalan point got overruled or not, right? There's a bit of a homework over here. And when you go to Google and type this AK Gopalan over there, that whether AK Gopalan got overruled, the Google will give you the result that yes, AK Gopalan got overruled in Kalpana Mehta case. My question over here is that if we've got this information that AK Gopalan got overruled in Kalpana Mehta case, can we never use AK Gopalan? Is there any point of law in AK Gopalan which we can use? Or all the points are not a good law anymore? That is my question. So in order to do that critical analysis, you come to SCC Online, you open that case via find by party name. First of all, you get all the law points listed over here. So all the points are over here. Around 231 points of law were discussed, and all of them I can read it at ease. Now, in order to find which law point of AK Gopalan got overruled, for that I can go with search within search result. I type in the word overruled over there. I click on the search bar, and it will give me only those points of law which got overruled. So out of 231, 8 points are not a good law anymore, and rest of the points I can use them in my case. That is a very good homework which you can do and your research as well. Now I can click upon any document and I can read which law point was it. Okay, it was Article 19. I cannot use it, but I wanted to see where it was overruled. So I scroll down to the last and it gives me the information. It was overruled with Rastam Kawaji Cooper, Shahira Banu, K.S. Puttoswamy, and Kalpana Mehta. So along with Kalpana Mehta, I was missing out on three more judgments in which this case got overruled. So we have presented this data to you in chronological fashion from oldest to latest. And this is a never ending job. In case it gets overruled again, we tend to include that information over here. So with this example, I hope you got to understand that yes, we can get the judgment extract, but more than that, we can also get to know whether the judgment we are looking at contains any bad law, any overruled law point or not, right? So let's move forward now. Let's click on this dashboard icon one more time. And we have like 5 to 10 minutes remaining. So I'll also keep some time for the question and answers round, not to worry about that. But let me just complete some few important ties as well. So we have find by citation over here. Find by citation works in a very linear fashion. What you need to do is you just need to click on the journal name. So you must have visited your Symbiosis Law School library, I guess virtually or physically. I'm not sure of that. So whenever you visit a library, they have different journals over there. So they have SCC, they have AIR. I'm just giving an example over here. They have Criminal Law Journal, they have MLJ, MWN, and all those journals will be presented in that library. Now, according to the journal which you select, for example, if you select AIR, then you need to enter the citation number, right? It has to be the correct. So first of all, I'm entering the year number and then the software is asking me to enter the page number. In case you have any dilemma that this citation might be incorrect, then you should recheck your citation, or if you have a party name available, please go to find a party name. Now, irrespective of whichever journal citation you entered over here, you will still get to see the SCC journals over here. So in order to get the citation for AIR judgments, is it possible in SCC? Yes. Just click on AIR journal, enter the citation number, and you still get the SCC judgment over there. But where are the SCC, where are the AIR journal numbers written? Then you can go in the digest notes over here, and there you go. Along with SCC, you have SCC Criminal, you have Criminal Law Journal, ECRN, AIC, and AIR. So all of those equivalent citations are being mentioned in the digest notes itself. So that is the citation part. There is one more thing, I guess, which is very important in this particular session. That is, whenever you are reading any judgment, which also contains the head note, there is an option of taking the printout in the true printout format. So just like we've seen an example in the very beginning, while Mr. Kapoor was giving the information regarding the digest notes, he also mentioned that the judgments which you are seeing over here in SCC Online are the exact judgment which were printed in the SCC Online journals as well. Now, how to see those type of printouts, which are called true printouts, how to see those printouts? We go to the print icon, we go to TP icon, that is a true printout icon. We select a few pages and then we click on the print. Now, this type of printout is acceptable in the court because this is just exactly the photocopy of the journal. And that is why it is called the true printout. So there you go. Now, this printout is going to be entirely different in terms of the visual appearance. And as you can see, this is what we call the photocopy of the journal. And that is how you can take the true printout. You can click on the download icon to download as a PDF, or you can click on the print icon to take the printout from your printer. And that is how you take the true printouts. Let's move forward with the dashboard. In the dashboard, we have find case law by section. Find case law by section specially works for those queries in which you are looking for some case laws on particular section of law. I'll just take a very basic example over here. For an example, you are looking forward for some cases on IPC section 302, punishment for murder. So either you can go in the word search, you can do your search from there by typing the near in between, Or the alternate method is you come over here, you need not to type any query, just type the name of the act, that is penal code. Please remove the word Indian as a prefix because that is common. So there you go, the penal code, all the sections of penal code have come onto your screen now. And now I'll simply select section 302, punishment for murder. I click on go. All the cases which discuss about IPC section 302 will come onto your screen and you can simply see them and you can filter down the information as per your preference. So 38,000 documents. And again, as per your preference, you can filter down the information. Now, let's move forward with the dashboard. In the dashboard, let's cover one more basic tile of library, then we can just open the question answers round. In the Research Plus students and the members, if you have any confusion, I guess some of the students have already posted some questions. So I encourage all the students to please post their doubts and their queries right in the chat box so that I can have a look upon them in just 2 or 3 minutes. Now, in the My Library students, the members, we have already covered some of the tiles like browse query topics, browse action rules. Let me also cover the browse secondary materials, which is going to be extremely beneficial for you. Now, what is inside of this secondary material? First of all, you're getting the bills in parliament. Bills in parliament contains those bills which got introduced in any one of the house or which got passed by any one of the house. Live commentaries on the bills are not being covered in the software. Then we have constitutional documents, which is very important over here. It covers your Constituent Assembly debates of how the Constitution was formed when it was in the process. So it contains 12 volumes of debates in it, and it contains all the, we can say, crucial processes and also all the foundation of why this current constitution is in place right now and what all the discussion according to the article which you wanted to read. Apart from that, Mr. Kapoor was also pointing out this information that is called the conversion table from draft article to COI article. So if you click on this one, COI article to draft article, you will get this particular category of data, that is the index. Now, what this index is giving me the data or the information. This index on the left-hand side is presenting the data of the articles in the draft constitution. So you have all the articles in the draft, but later on those articles got converted into the article number 2. Let's see any famous article which you have already gone through, that is article 141. So article 141 in our current constitution was previously known as article 117. And the discussion on this particular article placed on 27th of May 1949. So how I can locate that information now? I believe I should go to volume number 5. This is August. Okay, volume number 3, that is April. And so it is volume number 4. So 27th of May should be right over here between 25th and 20. Sorry, this is July. This is July. I'm really sorry for that. Okay. Yeah, it should be right over here in the 2nd May debate. It should also contain the 28th May debate as well. So this is how you can pinpoint the information of whichever debate you are looking at. And also it has given you the conversion table, which gives you a brief idea that yes, this particular article was previously known as Article 117. Apart from that, we have historical trials, we have policy documents of different departments, and we also have reports of commission and committees such as law commission reports, which you might have heard about that. Let's move forward to the dashboard now. There's one more thing before we wind up this session, that is moot court resources. Now, members who are preparing or who are willing to go to a moot court competition, this style is going to be very beneficial for them. As in this style, we present you the data of the past moot court competitions that have been held and organized by the SCC Online as well. And in all those moot court competitions, we have given you the data in form of the moot propositions. Let me give you the data of that. So we are clicking on MIT Lucknow. So we have the mood proposition or the problem available over here. We also give you the data that what was the winner team memo, how they've submitted their memo, and what was their winner team memo from the respondent side. So from both the parties, you can get the data that how can you present your data, and similarly, you can make upon your strategy. I guess with regards to the basic knowledge and the functionality of how the software works, we have almost covered up all the aspects of today's session. The question answers round is open now, and I will just showcase you this particular feature as well, that is the help center. In last, I will also give you the contact information of our department, but this help center is going to be extremely beneficial, which includes the pictorial representation as well as the video webinars on how can you do research on a particular topic. So for an example, you quickly want to see how the near operator works. You click on this near Boolean operator and it will give you the entire information of how near works. In case you're looking for the webinar on advanced searches or any other advanced feature which we have not covered in this session intentionally, then you can simply go to that, click on the YouTube video, and you can read that. With that, I guess we can open the question answers round. Mr. Anna, if you have anything to add, then we can add that information as well.
No, I think it's perfect. Only a few queries were already there. I'll just read out for you. One was, what does D mean? This is from Udita. The D label.
Absolutely. Sure. Ms. Udita, basically D means that you're looking at a digest note. So I currently, my screen is still being shared upon. So let me just give you a quick example of whichever document I can see on my screen right now. So J means you're looking at a judgment. You can read the whole judgment right from there. But D means you are just looking at a point of law which was discussed in that judgment. And also you're looking at the opinion of the judges onto that law point. So this is D. As you can see, this is D. Judgment is OP Sharma versus High Court of Punjab, as I can see. But in this judgment, this was the law point that was discussed. And if I scroll down, the judgment was this one, OP Sharma versus High Court. You can click on this hyperlink and then you can read the whole judgment. I hope that this answer would suffice.
All right. The next one is from Archie. He wants to know how to access overruled cases. Once
Absolutely.
more. Yeah.
Very good question, Ms. Archie. So in order to see whether the current case you are reading got overruled or not, you need to open that case first of all via find by citation or via find by party name. Again, I'm going with find by party name one more time. Let's take any other case now. So I'm taking an overruled case, that is SP Gupta versus Union of India. I believe we have already gone through this case. So we click on find case and I'll just quickly locate this case now. So we all know this SP Gupta case got partly overruled in Scora versus Union of India, but we would like to see that on which point of law it got overruled. So this case is being opened up now. And as I can simply see that the J is only one entry and the rest entries are denoted by the icon D. So the digest notes are 52. And on the top itself, it says it was partly overruled in Scora versus Union of India 1993 for SCC 441. That's really good. The question from Ms. Arshi is how to pinpoint all those points which got overruled. For that, we are going for top left, search within search result, and we are going to type overruled. Click on the search bar, and now the information which is going to be displayed contains all those law points which got overruled in any other case. There you go. The red exclamatory mark denotes that this particular document which you're reading has already been overruled in any other case. Let me simply click on that real quick. And I'm just going to the footnotes, and there you go. It was overruled in Scora versus Union of India and held overruled again Scora versus Union of India in 2016. I hope this answer would suffice.
Yeah, Archie has also added one more thing, that kindly repeat the words and phrases once.
Words and phrases. Again, very good question. Words and phrases is a self-explanatory style which does not need that much of introduction. Words and phrases gives you the definition of a word coming in from three sources. So let's take res judicata for example, right? So there you go. Now this res judicata word was defined by a judge in a judgment of Ramji Gupta versus Gopi Krishnan Agarwal. That is why you're getting this definition. And this same word would also been defined in the Walton Dictionary of Law, and that is why there's an abbreviation of what. Also, if there is any definition of this word in any statute, then we include that information as well. So words and phrases gives you the information of a word, of a meaning of a word coming in from three sources. First, any judge has defined. Second, Walton Dictionary. And thirdly, any statute has defined that word.
That finishes the questions on the chat. I've shared the contact details
Okay.
and the email ID as well.
All right. Students, any other questions regarding any of the features which we have shown today? Questions are really great. I have already given you the rights to unmute yourself or to raise your hand so that we can get to know if there is any question.
I guess there are 2-3 students have asked the questions, and the rest are there online, but we will wait another
Yes,
little time. Yeah,
absolutely.
your session is too good that most of the students are having created their accounts, and they are starting the using of SCC Online, especially for LLM students.
Mhm.
They are having the ideas to access the SCC Online during their college days. So please convey my sincere thanks to Chetan sir and Sanjay sir as well, because I don't think they are in the meeting now.
Yes, they've gone
Yeah.
to another.
Thank you, Mohit, and from SLS Pune, I wanted to thanks both of you and the Chetan sir also.
Absolutely.
Thank you, students, for joining the such a long session for SSC Online. And tomorrow we'll meet by 3:30 here at 4 hand only. That will be a short session for us, I hope. Yeah,
Yes.
but the points I think well much covered by you both of you, Chetan sir and you also, and the data coverage said by the Sanjay sir is really helpful for our students as well.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, thank you, students. Thank you for joining the session.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
everyone. Thank you for your time, and
Thank you,
we'll
sir.
see you tomorrow in the next session. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Bali sir, for organizing this.
Bye bye. Take care, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.